I didn't realize I was muted. I was
It's
so
okay.
confused.
No problem. So, I'm looking up some more, kind of outline stuff for this book here. Um, so there's some things that I think would really help here. Um, that but let's go back to where we left off, which is give me some examples from the book of Jack being cocky. Go ahead and write a sentence for that, and then same with busy. And I'm going to add something in here as well.
Okay. I don't think he is cocky, actually. Hmm.
So I read that he's very loving as a husband and a father. Does that sound correct to you?
Well, kind of. He tries. He tries. Like at the hotel, he tried to be loving. He tried to care for them.
Okay. Any examples of that?
Um, when they thought something was wrong with Danny, they took him straight to the hospital. So I think that's a great example.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with that. You want to put that into a sentence, please?
Okay. All right.
Okay. Right. And then what's the whole thing about him being busy?
Okay. Yeah, I can write about that. All right, here's what I wrote about Jack being busy.
All right, hey, the next point here I want to bring up to you is the book a horror book?
Yeah, it has horror aspects.
Is it scary?
Yes.
Okay. Um, what do you think you can write about the book in terms of that? Like, do you feel like there's some things there that you can write on?
Yeah.
What are some things that make the book scary or a horror book?
They talk about like whoever works this hotel, they go insane and usually murder their family. And there is
So
a
every
and
is that everyone who's worked there?
yeah,
So why does Jack think it'll be different?
I mean he goes insane because at first he's like, "Oh, that won't happen" and stuff. He's that won't happen at all. But the
Okay.
more he was isolated in that hotel, the more he started to go insane, and that's what happened.
Okay. Are there any other things that are sort of scary about that are in the book?
Um, Danny, because he was so little, he had these terrifying nightmares, and they would have the depiction of the word red rum, but it was just murder spelled backwards.
Okay. Um,
Um, oh,
what
this is
about
some.
in what about in the front of the hotel? Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna mention this because I think it should be considered horror because it kind of spooked me. There is a room that you're not supposed to go into called room 217. Danny went in there even though he wasn't supposed to, and he saw a dead body in the bathtub of an old lady, and the lady then like started chasing him.
Okay. All
So
right.
I
What
think that
about
counts.
that definitely counts. What about the front lawn plants?
Like, wait, what do you mean?
I'm reading here that the hotel had plants that were shaped like animals
Yes, they did.
and they would come to life, maybe?
No, I don't think that's what happened because when I read the book, it never mentioned anything like that.
Okay. I've not read the book. I haven't really watched the movie other than I know all the parts you said. It's not my genre. So, um, okay. So the next point um, that might be good to talk about is uh, do they really like, does the book convey sort of like normal to insane?
Yeah, actually, it does. At the beginning of the book, when I read it, Jack was fine, but then near the end, apparently a lot of people say Jack has schizophrenia because of the hotel. Like there was like paranormal activity with these ghosts, and it made Jack to become insane and grab a hatchet to murder his family.
Does he actually murder his family?
Oh no, they escaped. He died, I think, in at the end.
How do they escape? Who's the hero?
His name was Dick. He was the old guy um that was the chef at the hotel. Danny, because he was a little bit of a special kid, was able to reach to him because I'll explain more. He has this thing called The Shining, basically the title of the book, where he was very special and had these psychic abilities, and he was able to contact him through his mind, and that's how he was able to come and rescue them.
So we could contact Dick to rescue them.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Okay, so we got to be careful here because we've all we've really done is give like a book report, which is okay. Um, so like we're talking about the novel, really good character development. Um, maybe even felt like you knew the characters. This thing with Danny's very important, that the psychic abilities. Um, one thing that you might want to emphasize is like reading the book is scarier than the movie.
Yeah.
Don't know if
And
you feel that way.
there's a lot of vulgar language in here. There's a lot of stuff that I don't think would be allowed to say in books right now, like in this
Okay.
time of today.
All right. And then pretty sure that the movie really just makes Jack out to be kind of insane the whole time.
Yep.
Um, so what your thesis, to go back up, your thesis needs to be an assertion. The assertion I think should be that the book is so much better than the movie. So you're taking a stand. Um, we want to say why. Why is the book better than the movie? And we want to be kind of specific about certain things about the book, which we just wrote about.
Okay.
Could you try to write something that takes a stand, is an assertion,
Yeah.
narrow, specific?
Right, here's what I wrote.
There's no there's a couple things that this does have, and then we'll go through these kind of together here. So does this does this make an assertion? Yes, it says the book is better than the movie. Does it take a stand? Yes, because there's more information on the characters. Okay. Goes into detail about what happened in the past for Jack to become a caretaker for the Overlook Hotel. One of the things does not address is the whole horror, crazy. Like Jack is sort of normal. almost. He's a
Yeah, he
normal,
was
kind of a normal
he
parent, husband, and then he's crazy.
yeah.
So I think that's where we need to say the book is better than the movie because there's more information on the development of Jack from a normal father to a what? What would you call his like later state?
From Jack being normal to his break of insanity.
Apparently,
Because
letter to a man on the brink of insanity. He doesn't end up killing his family.
no, he doesn't. And I
And
know that he doesn't because Stephen King then released a book called Doctor Sleep, which was Danny as an adult in the future because something was going on and yada yada.
yeah, the book is better than the movie because there's more information on the development of Jack and from an apparently normal father to a man on the brink of insanity, nearly killing his wife and son in the process. Uh, so during his time as caretaker for the Overlook Hotel. So from what we've learned about your instructor, we might want to just go with that and see if that's good enough before we spend a lot more time on that.
Okay.
Now, for the movie, what are some things about the movie that you like or dislike? And I would think you would want to see things about the movie that you dislike. Things about the
Um,
movie that are not as good as the book. And I did mention a few of them. I'm happy to mention a few more, but do you have any that come to mind from what you've seen?
no, not that I can think of right now.
Okay, so one of one of the main points is that they don't sort of show Jack. I think his name's actually John in the movie. Show Jack John as a normal individual, normal person. I believe
Yeah.
he really quickly gets sort of shown as he's crazy. Um, I don't know because I really haven't seen it. Um, they don't really transition. There's little transition from normal to crazy. That's another thing I'm seeing a lot of when I've looked at some outlines here while you were doing some writing. Um,
Um,
the other thing is that it doesn't really talk about his work. It seems like Jack is supposed to be the caretaker, and then he only it just shows him sort of at a typewriter working
yeah.
on his book.
Yep, that's what he does.
That's in the movie. They don't show him actually, being involved in the day-to-day operations of the place. Um, I think one of the things that I think these can all be sort of overlapped. I would wonder about the horror of the movie, sort of the gruesome stuff. That you know, you said there's a dead body in the bathtub. There's that scene with the twins.
Yeah. The dead body in the bathtub, I know which shows again. I know in the movie she looked like a very young lady when Jack went in, and then she turned old. I
Right.
know that's all that never happened in the book.
Yeah, so these are like what are more about like the gruesome horror stuff? Like which is more believable? You know, is it the book? Is it the movie?
Um, I think I know that in the movie they have blood coming out of the elevator,
Yeah.
but I think the book is more believable because of one of the scene where when Jack goes into room 217 because I didn't when I read it, there was no young lady turning into an old lady, and that's more I believe that more than the movie because I don't know. I just think that's more spookier if it was actually an old lady than a young lady just turning into an old lady.
Okay. So I don't know how much more we want to try to do here before getting your teacher's approval. I believe that is everything. Um, yeah, that's kind of your outline, your conclusion. You know, we're missing an introduction, but um, we'll we can maybe get that. So we actually should provide a short a short description of the book and movie. Um, we want to include the thesis statement in the conclusion. In the conclusion, you generally restate your thesis, and then you also point restate the best points. So I think it'd be good for you to write a couple of sentences just to sort of like summarize the book, if you can.
I can use a short description of the book.
Yeah, what happens in the book.
Here's what I wrote about the book.
Okay. that's fine. So we got the thesis statement. So what do you think is like the best point that supports the idea that Jack went from apparently normal to a man on the brink of insanity?
Hmm. Well, one thing I can say is that Jack was used to be an alcoholic, and during this also there was I know in the movie there was a bar scene, but during that scene in the bar, um, apparently Jack was telling someone like, "Oh yeah, you," because he recognized the person as one of the old caretakers because he was a ghost, saying, "Oh yeah, you killed your kids," and the person's like, "No, no, 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 that's not possible because you're the caretaker." And then I guess Jack became insane like that. Like I don't know how to describe his insanity. Like let me just check. I have the book in front of me as well, so I can.
Sure. So we could talk about the scene or the interaction in the bar. Um, so that's where we want to. The best point here you may want to make is that Jack talking to the bartender, even though it's a ghost.
Um, I'm sorry, what?
I'm just restating what you said there. Is there anything else that you feel like would be the best kind of explanation of how Jack went from normal to completely insane?
No, I can't think of anything else, but I think it's also because they were I those three were all together in a hotel that had no only just then there were no other people, so I guess that they were kind of isolated because it was
Okay.
in the middle of winter.
Yeah. So maybe we can add that here, completely isolated from, I don't know, the outside world. All right. So the thesis, I think the thesis is fine, but I'm not your teacher. I do think that our we don't really address enough of like the isolation. Maybe we can do that down here in point three. Um, but that's fine. I do think you've got to watch the movie. I think you'll be able to do more on this, or you got to go to the internet and find a summary on that. I think that's good enough. So let's call that good. What else do you want us to work on today? Well, I'm sort of save this file, get it ready to send over to you.
Okay, I checked lesson 6 in physical science, you know that one lab with the
Yep.
water and stuff with ice.
Hmm.
There, even though we answered mostly everything, there are some like there's like let me just pull up the lesson so I can explain what I want to. Where is it? Was it? There. So she wanted us to answer questions 1 through 7 because they were our lab report. But after that, there were some other questions after that, like questions 8 through 12. I'm sorry, 8 through 18, and I don't remember if we ever answered those.
Right. Yeah, we can take a look here.
Okay, great.
All right, so I'll get to where I can. Is there feedback on it, or you're saying it was we never finished it?
We never finished it, I mean, like
Okay.
I just want to answer those questions before I submit everything else.
Let me share. Okay, so we're in physical science, a lesson. Oh, that's not what I want. Full course lesson. Uh, why is it? I don't want to do that. So maybe I can't. All right, let me go find it. You said it's, I'm sorry, which one is it?
You go to full course and lessons, and you can find lesson 6 there.
Okay. Um, lesson six. Okay. All right, so I'm seeing like section 4. Let me go ahead and share my screen. It's making, just by the way, it's making you, if I click on full lessons, that's why it keeps opening up the like feedback. So you may want to take care of
Oh,
that at some point.
oh, that's so
Uh,
weird. I have to answer those. I don't know why it does that, but I
yeah.
guess we can't check it like that unless I answer them.
Well, I mean, I thought we had answered all the questions in here. Is there something beyond section 4? And we're also waiting for the the data here and maybe to make a graph.
Yeah, I'm going to add this this stuff later today,
Okay.
and then I'll answer those science questions so then we can do those questions tomorrow. I'm so sorry, I didn't expect that to happen.
That's okay. But you're saying there's other questions here besides these?
Yeah. Wait, let me just double check really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, there's other questions. Um, and I'll show you tomorrow maybe. Yeah, we work together tomorrow, right?
It's actually Thursday, so you got a couple of days.
Okay. Or maybe we've already answered them, but I can double check though after that. Cause but we'll see, we'll see. I made sure to take photos as well, and it wasn't that bad. It was very interesting. Okay, well, I don't know what else to do then, because I wanted to work on those questions on the lab, but it's okay.
Um, yeah, I mean, can you quickly answer those, or I mean, you don't have, I mean, I don't have to give that rigorous feedback on the
Um,
questionnaire.
those questions sometimes take me a while to answer because I kind of think them out, but I can try to answer them right now.
Yeah, we could do that together now for the rest of the time if you would like.
Yeah, I can do that right now.
All right. Do you want me, let me go ahead and share that, and then we can look at as many of them together as we can.
All right, well, I'm gonna start answering these because I know what to write. They always ask you these questions around like because
Yeah.
they just want your feedback to see how you're doing on the lesson, like what you think of it so far.
All right. So how much do you like the subject? How confident are you that you can
Check
do
the
well in
lot.
this course?
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong, so whatever works for you.
I'm right now answering these questions, so sorry. All right, I just finished all the questions.
Okay. Did you submit them on your side?
Hmm?
Did you submit them on your side? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Did you submit them or
Yeah, I did.
okay. Okay, so we were doing 6. Yeah. Oh, boy. Uh do you want me to restore the draft?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, so we we answered these questions, pretty sure. Were you referring to some different questions?
Um,
Or maybe we didn't. I thought we did.
yeah, those are the questions I was talking about. And if you scroll down, there's like six more.
Okay, so there are okay, these questions, I see. Okay. Now I've got you. Copy. So did we ever actually answer these?
I
No,
don't think so.
we didn't answer any of these questions. Okay. I think we're waiting on like the lab to be done, but we can certainly start looking at them. Okay, so let's I don't even know where to put these. Does it say what section to put them in? Put them in? I guess it doesn't. All right, let me put them at the bottom. All right, so question number 1 says at the start of this graph, starting time 0, the line has positive slope. What does the positive slope mean in terms of its temperature change? Is the temperature going up or down?
And the temperature goes up.
Yes. So we can say the temperature is increasing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so the temperature is increasing. All right. So now, question 9, it says at which temperature does the slope first change? That's really weird. I guess it's 0 degrees is the temperature. I guess it's asking about this horizontal line.
Yeah.
So is the temperature changing along this line here?
It doesn't change. Yeah, it changes a little bit, yeah.
Nope, it either it does or doesn't. It's a horizontal line, so the temperature is stuck at 0.
Okay, then it doesn't change.
All right, so and do you think they want full sentences here? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think they do.
Okay, so give me a sentence that says the temp to answer this question. It first changes at 0 degrees.
So the temperature changes to 0 degrees at the slope.
That's just that's where the slope first changes. You would say the slope first changes at 0 degrees.
Okay.
Right, so that's perfect. Okay, so I'm adding that to this document. I've got it saved. So we should just plan on picking up here on Thursday or maybe with some English and
Okay.
keep going here. So all right, good job today. Gonna go ahead and stop the recording right here.